All right, hello everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully you can hear me okay too. We had some audio issues last week, but I hope they are resolved. So this week we are doing the Getting Started series again with the Let's Encrypt SSL. And this is CloudAccess.net's free weekly webinars, most of the time weekly. And I will be your host, Danielle Hardy. Again, I am the support team lead here. Awesome, thank you, Josie. Okay, so most of this webinar is going to be me telling you a little bit about the Let's Encrypt SSL and why you should have that opposed to having just a paid SSL. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, we do have all of this written in text on our website. I also wanted to read it to you and go over it because I'm sure not everybody has seen that. So what is an SSL and why do you need one? Well, in more difficult terms, SSL is a cryptographic protocol that provides communication security over a computer network. So basically, it ensures a trusted private communication between the client and the website and the server. It ensures that your website is not going to leak any data of the clients, and if it does, you're insured so you can make sure there's no issues there. Now, the difference between the paid SSLs or the Let's Encrypt SSL is the Let's Encrypt SSL doesn't actually verify anything on the website. It just verifies the domain. So it's a free, automated, open certificate authority that makes it possible to set up HTTPS and have it automatically obtain a browser trusted certificate, and it doesn't need any human intervention. So it's significantly quicker to set up than a paid SSL. However, it doesn't quite have all the same security measures. I'm going to show you some examples once we are done going over what it is and why you want it. So we will get into that here shortly too. The Let's Encrypt is a free anonymous DV certificate. So DV just means domain validation. And DV certificates are issued really quickly. No company information is being checked or displayed with a certificate. And that is why there's also paid options. They're easy to obtain. They're perfect to use on sites that need basic encryption for logins, forms, and other non-transactional data. I'm not sure if you're all aware or not, however, just the past couple of years, Google started indexing sites to see if they were HTTPS enabled and had certificates. And if they didn't, they've been putting out more and more warnings showing that the site may be insecure. And that tends to scare away a lot of clients. So over the last couple of years, we have gotten the Let's Encrypt set up on our servers as well. That way you can use it without having to have a paid certificate if you're not ready for that or if you're not going to have a need. And you won't lose the potential viewers of your website or potential clients because Google isn't going to show that insecure warning. So we recommend using the Let's Encrypt certificate for sites that are in development, sites that are not at risk of fraud or phishing, or sites that do not handle sensitive data or e-commerce. So any kind of credit card information, any sales, any addresses, anything like that. The difference here is paid certificates provide an OV, organization verification. We just got a question from Nikki saying, I only see the initial splash screen. Any slides to go with this? For this one, there is not any slides. I'm going to send a little email after this with some more information about the SSLs, and I'm going to send you over the page that I'm going over as well. So you can just view the link anytime you need. And then I'm also going to show you a tutorial on how to set up the free Let's Encrypt SSL on WordPress and on Joomla. So the paid one does an OV, so that's an organization verification, and an EV, which is extended verification. These are perfect for websites that do handle that sensitive data or are at risk for fraud or phishing and that are already live. And also this really, clients feel a lot more trusted when they can see that green bar in the URL by your domain name, and the EV certificates offer that. So again, the Let's Encrypt does not, and some of the paid ones do. And we got a question here from Josie. So actually, the cost of the paid ones vary. We have 4 different levels. Our cheapest one is $99 US, and you have to pay that annually. If you are one of our business clients, we cut the price of those in half, so it would only be $50. We do have one that goes all the way up to $300, but you can use that on multiple websites. So if you guys would like, I will also go ahead and send over some prices and stuff when I send out the email about this webinar too. That way you can view that in case you do end up needing a paid one. Every little thing that I wanted you all to know. Basically, that's pretty much it when it comes to SSLs and the differences. The biggest thing that you need to know is the Let's Encrypt is free. It installs quickly, and you don't want to use it for e-commerce. We highly recommend using this for development sites, and again, we try to push it out to any client that we possibly can, because whether they know it or not, they may be losing page views from that Google in the way they index. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started here, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is my control panel for the webinars that I do, and I have some test sites set up. And these ones are just our free sites, which you can also use the Let's Encrypt on, which is, again, great for development. And I've already installed the SSL on these because the SSL actually gets fully installed on our server when our server resets. And our server does that once every hour, about 35 minutes after the hour. So I had to get those set up before we were on this call. But I will show you how to do that too. So it's extremely simple. Once you are logged into your control panel, you will automatically be taken to the CCP homepage, which is here. And then you can just go ahead and click Manage next to your site. Okay, and once that's loaded, you just click on Security, which is easy to remember because Let's Encrypt helps with security. And that's the third one down, Let's Encrypt SSL. So mine looks a little bit different here because, again, I do already have it installed. But instead of this uninstall button, you'll just have an install button right down here in the middle. You'll click Install, and it will spin for a minute. It may take up to 2 minutes because it can take a minute depending on what server it's on. And then there will be a nice little pop-up, and it will tell you how long you have until the server resets. And it'll just say, so for example, you have 5 minutes until the SSL is fully installed. Another great thing that we have here is right on this page, we go over some of the basic things that I just went over with you to let you know some of the biggest differences and why you might want one type of SSL compared to a different one. So for example, here we have the Komodo SSLs, which are now renamed to Sectigo, but they're from the same company. And those are the paid ones. So they include a dedicated IP address. The Let's Encrypt SSLs do not. They add the green bar at the top of your web browser in the URL area, which helps your clients feel more secure. The Let's Encrypt SSL do not. And they are supported by older browsers and operating systems. And of course, Let's Encrypt may not be because it is something that is newer, and older technology kind of has a hard time keeping up with newer technology. And we do actually have a link right here that gives you some instructions on how to enable the SSL in your site's administrator panel. And these are also the ones that I went over with you. So It'll all be on that one page, which is really simple when I send it to you. So anyway, going back to that, in this little darker shaded area, whether it's a WordPress or a Joomla, we have it set up to let you know how to change the SSL settings to automatically get your site to redirect to SSL. Because even if you have already installed an SSL on your site, that does not mean it's going to automatically redirect to HTTPS in the web browser. It is actually something that you have to change, and it doesn't matter if it's Joomla or WordPress. So this site that we're looking at right now is WordPress, and it says to do this, go to General Settings and then change the WordPress address, the URL, and the site's address URL to HTTPS. That is the more difficult way to do it. So you can do it from within your administrator panel, within your database under options, or the way that we tell our clients to, which is via plugin. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it with a plugin. And if any of you would like to see it the other ways too, just pop a little question down below in the chat or the question and answer area, and I'll go over that too if it's requested. So here we are going to log into our WordPress dashboard. Okay, and then plugins, add new. And the plugin that we like to use is Really Simple SSL. Now, I will say, just for company purposes, we have no connection to that plugin or the developer. We do not offer any sort of support for it, like we do with no third-party plugins, themes, or templates. However, this is just the one that we like the most, and we find that clients find it the most helpful. So just click Install Now, and then Activate. And then if you just look down here where all of your plugins are listed, it shows that it's activated. If you want to revert to HTTP, that just means that you will change the redirect to not be there anymore, and your SSL will still be installed. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to our website. And as you can see, we had a little issue where it didn't automatically redirect. So actually, I will show you guys how to do it from within the database as well. It doesn't always work. I believe it didn't this time because I was playing with it right before we did the webinar. But 9 times out of 10, if it's the first time that you do it, it will work wonderfully. So when you're going to the database from the control panel, just make sure you know how. You click database, and then you click login to PHPMyAdmin. And then right here is your database. So the table that you want to go to is the one that shows options right after your text. And then right here are the 2 different URLs that our system is talking about. So you'll click Edit. And just add that little S there. And you'll want to make sure that you do it on both. Okay, and you can close out of the database. And I am going to close the page I already had open. And my admin panel. And it didn't redirect again. Sorry about that. Another reason that this might happen is because you may not have a clear cache, which means that you just need to delete your history. I have a lot of things saved on here because this is one of my work accounts, so I'm not going to do that. But you can test that by going to an incognito browser. And just typing in your domain name. Okay, well, apologies for that. It still is not redirecting. That is how you do it, and I do believe I am having some troubles on my computer. It should work for you though, and if it does not, we have a wonderful support team that is available 24/7 that will help you get down to the bottom of why. So now we're going to go ahead and do it with a Joomla site. Okay, so we're going to go down here and let's make sure that I have installed an SSL. And I have. So with the Joomla, again, it is a bit different because it's a different CMS. So to use the SSL on your website, you need to go to Global Configuration, Server, Force SSL, and an entire site. You can do it that way, or you can do it from within your files via FTP. That's my favorite way to do it, but for sake of easiness for people who are used to the control panel, we are going to do it through the admin panel. So let's go. I'm gonna log in. Okay, no, this is just a freshly launched site, so you know, it's going to have some updates and stuff that pop up. So system, global configuration. And then server. And right in this section, right at the bottom, you have force HTTPS. There's two different options here. You can do administrator only or entire site. I wouldn't suggest doing administrator only for any reason. So we're going to go ahead and make sure entire site is selected and hit save. And let's see if this site will properly do it. There we go. Trusty Joomla, automatically redirected to the HTTPS. Now, another thing for you to know is right up here, I clicked it earlier, but this little padlock will show you information about an SSL. And it can show you basic information, or depending on your web browser or the different links that you click, it will tell you more and more information about the SSL. Generally, they are not private. Of course, your information on it is, but it's so that the client, the viewer, the visitor, all of the above is able to go see and find information and feel a little bit more secure about viewing your website. So that is one way of forcing SSL in Joomla. I'm going to show you the other way really fast too, because I love playing in databases and file systems. Minimize that. And we're going to go here to server and FTP. I'm sorry. We're going to go to File Explorer. This is one of my favorite options in the control panel because it actually gives you an FTP area, just like FileZilla, but it has a much friendlier GUI. So under here, under HTTP docs, that is your home directory. And then over here is configuration.php. When you're going through it, make sure that it's the configuration.php and not configuration.php.back. Sometimes you'll have one of those and it will be a waste of your time to click the wrong one. So there's a and I just type in force and it automatically loads it here. And I bring that up on my system using Control F. It's different for every computer, but go ahead and give that a look up because I use it every day. So under here, public, and then force SSL. So 2 is what we have it on now, and that is the entire site. If you want it to be just the administrator, you would put in 1 and click save. Or this is a nifty little trick that we use here. If you're in global configuration and you select entire site and you save it, and you find that all of a sudden you're locked out of your site and you have no way to get back in, and it loads in HTTPS, but again, you can't get in, you just go here, you look this up, and you change that to 0 and hit save, and just like that, you'll be able to access your site again. So it's very handy. Now we're getting close to the wrap up here, so if you have any questions, please type them in as I finish up, and then we will spend the rest of the time going over your questions. Great question, Josie. So if you want to go into configuration, the file that I just showed you in the File Explorer, personally, that's just my favorite way to force the SSL. You can do it if you feel a lot more comfortable in your administrator panel, or if you just prefer to play with the files, you can do it from there. It's really up to you. Of course, we would recommend, if you're not very used to working in the file system, to do it from the admin panel. But it's just another way of doing it. And as well as that, if you for some reason get locked out of your control panel and it happens to be because you had just enforced SSL, it's a good way to get back into it. Okay, and the next question is, could you edit the file from the directory itself via FTP? Absolutely. So this File Explorer area in the CCP is just FTP as well. It's just a user interface that we've created in the control panel, so it's in one area, it's easy to get to, and it's kind of easy to understand. If you prefer something like FileZilla, you could use that too. And of course, if you need our help doing that, if something goes wrong, or if you just need taught again, our support team's really great, and you can reach out to them. Okay, so some other questions that you may have. When it comes to uninstallation, the biggest things that you want to do is go to the different ways that we just force SSL and unforce them. You'll want to do that first. And then in the control panel, just under security again, go to Let's Encrypt SSL and uninstall, and within a half hour, it will be uninstalled on your site again. Next question, is it a good idea to have paid secure SSL if you're using PayPal? Yes, that is a wonderful question. Absolutely. I would highly recommend you doing that. You never know what could go wrong on your site, or if there's any chance of it being insecure or somebody hacking or just taking hold of your site. You don't want them to get that data. And the paid SSLs actually come with that kind of protection. So if that does end up happening, they will ensure that everything gets corrected. And when it comes to the Let's Encrypt SSL, it doesn't do that. So if you're doing any sort of transactions, I would always say to use the paid SSL. Yeah, definitely. 100% use the paid SSL if you're going to be using PayPal. Now, if you're just in development and you're not really going to be sending people over to your site, or it's not going to be really indexed yet, feel free to use the Let's Encrypt. It's best for development purposes anyways, I think. Another question that you may have, renewal. So with the paid SSLs, they get renewed every year, annually, and we will automatically start sending you emails or tickets, if you look in your control panel, letting you know that it's coming up and that you need to pay your invoice, and we will reinstall and renew it for you. If it is the free Let's Encrypt SSL that you have, the renewal process is fully automatic. Every 3 months, your free Let's Encrypt SSL will be renewed. We'll do that. You don't have to worry about a thing, and you'll get an email notification letting you know. It'll keep renewing every 3 months until you uninstall it from your site too. Next question. Do you provide certificates to clients for taking this webinar for development purposes to show clients as professional development? That's a great question. I didn't previously think about that or have it set up. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get free certificates for you guys, but I will go ahead and reach out to the team and see if I can at least get you a discount. So that's great, and I will try to do that. I'm going to be sending out an email tomorrow, so I will let you guys know in that email what we came up with. And this is just for you guys that attended. Okay, next question. If some links are wrong in HTTP, example, links to scripts, how to exchange it into the right for security? Okay, so if not all of your links are showing HTTPS once you've enforced it, we have a way to do that too. Now I should mention before you do any of this, just like we say with everything, take a backup first, just to be safe. And especially before what I'm about to show you. So this is another favorite tool of mine that we actually offer, and it's free for everybody on our platform. It's not one of the paid ones. So under Application, go to Toolkit, and then Find and Replace. So you'll want to do this with your database and your file system. They're both very important. And select all of your tables. Got a lot here. And then type in HTTP, and then the colon and a couple of slashes. That will bring up every link in your database or your file structure that does not have HTTPS. And as you can see with this one, there's a lot there. So after that, you'll just want to replace it with HTTPS, and it will only replace that part of the link that you typed in. And then you just hit replace, and it'll run for a moment. With this site, it's brand new, so it's super fast. With older sites, it can take, I don't know, it can take up to like 10 minutes. So don't refresh your browser at any time. And then if you scroll down, you can see it replaced all those links. And you'll want to do that for the database and the file structure. And that works no matter if it's Joomla or for WordPress. So those are excellent questions. If you guys have more, keep them coming. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to find some other stuff that I may have forgotten to mention. Wonderful. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking that I went over all of this with you guys, so I may not have any more to teach you on this webinar. Give a final call for any more questions before we head out. Oh, awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I will get back to all of you in an email tomorrow. And Josie, I will get back to you on what you're asking as well. And after this webinar, a survey is going to pop up in your browser. It's really fast. I'd really appreciate it if you did take it. And if you do take that survey, I will also be sending you out a coupon code that just lets you get, I believe it's 30% off a new site or upgrading to a paid plan if you're a free client. So please do that. And I really appreciate you guys being in here with us this week. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye for now. Take care, everyone. Bye.